If love were enough, there would be a whole lot less divorce. Business partnerships wouldn't fall apart. Families wouldn't stop speaking to one another. So what's love got to do with it? Catherine, my wife Catherine and I, we deeply love each other. Still, to this day, we've been married 27 years. We still love each other. There was a point in our marriage where we had really grown apart. And because we had both become very engaged in our individual successes, we hadn't noticed that the marriage wasn't flourishing anymore. Well, I got jammed up and kind of reset my individual life, sold my business. She agreed to support me in that. And because I wasn't juggling 16 balls anymore, I suddenly saw that our marriage wasn't really as close and as intimate as I wanted it to be. And so as I developed rich in relationship, refocused the marriage and grew it. Now, that was driven by love, but it took more than love to make that happen. So we all go through seasons where we feel a little stuck, where our marriage, our partnership, whatever we're talking about here, our family feels a little jammed up. And it's not because you don't love each other, but you know what? You may not be feeling the love so much in those moments. I promise you that when I went to Catherine and said, hey, we need to spend more time together, we need to focus on building our relationship, she was like, what? Why? What me worry? Why are you annoying me? I got things to do. I promise you that it was not a simple transition. It was not an easy transition. It required, in order to move to where we are, we had to let go of a lot of stuff on the way. And it's not like we're actually here. I think we're kind of more like here, or maybe we do this. This is probably more accurate, right? A healthy marriage, people come together, they grow apart a little, they come back together, they grow apart a little, they come together, and it's probably kind of swirling like a DNA helix. That's maybe a little too visual. And the realization that I came to with my marriage is that we were confusing compatibility with partnership, right? We actually got along pretty well when we were here, right? We ate together, we focused on the kids, and we just kind of did our own thing. But it wasn't a solid partnership. We were compatible, but it wasn't a solid partnership. We all spend an enormous amount of energy finding the right person, someone who we feel compatible with personality-wise, someone who shares our interests, someone who has the same values of us. Compatibility is what gets us started, but it doesn't tell us how to build, right? Just because we have the same values, just because we share principles, doesn't mean that we're building together. It takes a cornerstone, some common focus to help people build. That's why, in Christianity, they say, don't be unequally yoked. Don't marry someone who's not a believer, because if one person's focused on the faith and the other person isn't, it's very hard to have the same focus. But by the way, even that situation can be managed. You can find common ground. And maybe I need to do an episode just for people who are unequally yoked, but that's not what this episode is, right? In this episode, we're talking about what happens when there's love and compatibility, but the partnership itself isn't being nurtured. I'm thinking of a story. So I have a client, let's call one Brad and one Gwen, and they love each other. They respect each other. They are mad successful by any standard in terms of finances. But they don't make decisions well together, and that's really what they came to me about. And what it turned out was going on was they didn't make decisions together because they were parallel, aligned, but not on the same page. And they weren't actually, if you're parallel and moving the same direction, you aren't necessarily going to the same goal. You're going to two individual goals. And it turned out that she had multiple affairs over the years and hadn't told him about it. And he had his head in the sand about it. And this all came out as we were working together. So the reason why they weren't having conversations about their partnership is there were needs being met in other ways in other places. And he had a set of needs that he was meeting through gambling. It was a big mess. Even though they were financially successful, even though they worked well together, even though they loved each other, it was a big hot mess. And there was a lot of anger that needed to be expressed and a lot of hurt that needed to be aired out. not because they lacked love, but because they had never learned how to become partners. And I think that our society does not teach this well. Now, over the 20 some odd years that I've been working with people, I've watched remarkable couples and business partners struggle with exactly the same problem. It's not that they're not talking, it's that they're not talking about what's important. It's not that there isn't a commitment, it's that they're not defining what that commitment means in terms of their time together and where they're going together. That commitment's showing up on an individual level. It's not compatibility because they have similar cultural backgrounds and values and principles, and they get along very well, enjoy many of the same movies. It's something much more fundamental. Compatibility is all about, do we fit together? Compatibility is like, are we comfortable hanging out together? Compatibility might be, can we go drinking together? But partnership answers much deeper questions. Can we consciously, intentionally build something together? Am I willing to give up things that aren't that important so that we can build something together? Brad and Gwen, two extraordinary people, made a movie about them. They spent years, though, pulling in opposite directions and not realizing it. And it cost them money, it cost them reputation, it tortured their children. But I'm gonna give them cred, all right? We worked through it. They expressed the hurt, the anger, the angst, and they got it all out. And they are now in partnership, a loving partnership as two parents, as two married people, and they even work together. And they work very hard. So what does partnership actually require? Well, it's like this. Compatibility is about spending time together and enjoying it. Shared interests. Maybe it's about love. Yeah, we do love each other. We generally get along, but partnership requires that requires that there is clarity about what we are building together. And Brad and Gwen and I worked on what were they building together? What are they building together as a family? What are they building together in their work? How does their work support their family? How do they support their marriage? And how does their marriage support their individual growth? Who owns what responsibilities? What roles? Where are the boundaries? How are major decisions going to be made? And if there's disagreement, how are they going to be resolved? Partnership requires that we understand what success looks like 5 years from now. It ain't just about this, though that doesn't hurt. It lubricates the gears. What are we each responsible for protecting? And when one of us is struggling, how does the other respond? Two magnificent horses don't need more strength. They don't need to love each other. Two magnificent horses, they don't need more strength. They don't need to love each other more. They may need to exercise love more, because sometimes when we're pulling in different directions, we're not feeling it, but it's there. Exercising it means act as if, by the way. They don't need to become better horses. They simply have to pull in the same direction. The same is true for partnerships, prosperous partnerships. Love brings people together. There's no doubt about it. Love is a great muscle to exercise when we feel like we've been pulling in opposite directions and we need to realign. Compatibility may make the relationship enjoyable, but partnership is what determines whether you build a life, a family, a legacy together or not. Because prosperous partnerships are not built by accident. They're built very intentionally. Hey, if this has resonated with you, subscribe for more episodes and join the free Rich in Relationship community on Substack for weekly insights. The link is in the notes. You'll also get exclusive articles and early access to new videos and podcasts. We're going to be releasing all kinds of stuff on Substack that we're not releasing on YouTube. So you can enjoy both, but I'm encouraging you, go to that Rich in Relationship community now. In the meantime, have an amazing day and a fantastic tomorrow.